Hi, and welcome back to Google Calendar Essentials. This is tip number 4 of 10, creating public calendars. In the previous video, we talked about not making your personal or your core calendar public. So if you're going to need a public calendar for events, how do you create that and how do you share it? So we're going to walk you through the steps of going to the plus sign next to other calendars and creating a new calendar. We'll give it a name, and then I'll walk you through how to make it public, where to make it accessible to the public, and an important tip of when you're creating events, make sure now that you have multiple calendars that you're putting it on the correct calendar. So without further ado, we'll just hop over to the Google Calendar interface, hover over other calendars, and then click on the plus sign to create a new calendar. When we do this, in this scenario, I'm going to create an events calendar for XYZ Library. All right. And this will be public and online and on-site events for the XYZ library. And then I'm going to create that calendar. Now the calendar is created and I own it, but nobody has any access to it. Nobody else can add events to it. Nobody can do anything but me. But if I select that calendar now, I can scroll down and I can make it available to the public by selecting the checkbox. And I want to make sure that if I want the public to see all event details, that is selected. And I also have the option of adding other people. So if I want to add my assistant, Veronica Lodge, because she's going to be adding the bulk of the events, make changes to events, click on send. Now she's getting an email message that I've given her permission to be an event manager on the library event calendar. So that's how you can add people to help you manage events. The other option you have is now to share it. Where do I share this calendar? So if you scroll down, you have the option to share this public URL. And this is really important because if you want this calendar to just stand alone on itself and be shareable to the public, that means that anyone can view it. They can view it from Firefox, from Microsoft Edge. They can view it without a Google account. That's the link you need. If you use the shareable link up here, it will prompt them to sign into Google and it will add it to their calendar list, which is great. But if you're looking for like full public access, you're going to want to access this URL. Now, if you're using something other than Google Sites and you want embed code, this is the embed code. But I'm going to work with you with just sharing the link. So we're going to open this up. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm just going to paste it into another account. So I'll pull up another account, and I'll paste the link in there. And when I do that, you can see there's no events there because I haven't put any there, but we'll put one there in just a moment. I also have the option to embed it on a website. So here's an example of a Google Calendar embedded on a Google website. And so the way that you would do that is let's just bring a Google site up. This is the Google site. There's a couple ways you can do it. I'm just going to double click. I can use the embed code and just paste the link there, and that calendar will get embedded on the website. So that's one way. The other way, by the way, if you do embed it on a Google site, you have options and you have view options. So if you want month, week, or agenda view, you have that option as well. Another way to get a Google Calendar into your Google site is just to click on the insert option and then click on calendar, and it will look for the calendars that you own or have access to, and you'll be able to insert it that way. So that's how you can share a public Google Calendar with a Google site. You can also share it on the web. So I'm going to leave this view up, and we'll go back to the last tip where it's about creating events and making sure you put them on the right calendar. So if only this calendar is selected, the event calendar that you're working with, no problem. But if you have your calendar selected, another calendar selected, and you go to make an event for the XYZ calendar or the public calendar, you're going to want to pay attention to where events go. So let's say that Wednesdays, we always have arts and crafts at 6 p.m. So I'm going to just click on the 24th, and I'm going to put arts and crafts. I'm going to add a time of 6 p.m. and we'll make it last until 8 p.m. and we'll make it a repetitive event. Let's weekly on Wednesdays. And I could save this, but if I don't make sure that I put it on the event calendar, it won't go there. It'll end up on my default Alice and Malika calendar. So we're going to put this on XYZ library events, which is great. And then we're going to save it. And now it will populate. So as you go through the months, I'll even deselect the other options. You'll see we have this populated here. Now let's go to the public view. I see nothing, but if I refresh the screen, you'll be able to see that our August, September, October, so all of our events now are added to the public calendar. And if I go to the 5th grade web, I didn't save it in there, but if I had embedded it there, it would show just like you see here. And as folks toggle month to month, those events would show there as well. So to recap, that's how you select the plus sign, you create a new calendar, you give it a name, you share it publicly, scroll down to the bottom where you can find that public URL, and remember where you are posting events. Don't put your private events on a public calendar, and don't put your public events on your private calendar that you want people to be able to view. In the next tip, we're going to look at modifying views on demand, something light and easy.